Okay, so this is stop 4 of our tour. So the first thing I want everyone to notice, I'm going to step aside here, is to take in the distance. If you can see the silver truck out there, it's going to indicate that the distance between this cabin and the main house is almost 1/4 mile. And just soak that in a second, because that is the distance between the main house and where the enslaved people resided. Originally, this had approximately 6 to 8 cabins, but the only thing that remains today is this solo cabin here, which is about 15 feet wide and about 18 feet high. It's very sturdy, it's well built, and only a few modifications over the years have been added. Now the quarters here has got a single fireplace, which also doubled as a kitchen. You know, holding up to 8, sometimes more people, was probably a single family, maybe more, of enslaved people. Now they work very close to where their farm was. So just as you can see, in the immediate fields, there's hay still being produced today, approximately about 200 years from when this cabin was originally built. Now we believe the cabin could have been built as early as the colonial days, when the Carter family first purchased the land, which could span back to the 1700s, but likely the cabin was built shortly in the early 1800s. Now when the Fitzhughs purchased it, Thomas Fitzhugh, after the Carters, they began cultivating in the height of the property, which spanned about 440 acres. And they had many crops that they cultivated here, mainly corn and wheat and tobacco. But then the property passed to Thomas's brother Giles, and he did something very interesting and unique. In 1853, he actually parceled the land out and freed the slaves who lived here. Now, it wasn't all great, because a lot of them stayed, but they then became an indentured kind of servants and entered into a sharecropping relationship with families who had the land after that. But still, it was a little bit better than enslavement, but it wasn't much better. However, after the Civil War, the crops had to diversify even a little different, so they went mainly to corn and dairy products for the acres, and again it was parceled out even further to different property owners. Now Giles was ahead of his time, and it's kind of unique how the property didn't get burned down in the Civil War, which was a testament to playing the political lines for the family during those 1860s and 1870s. However, they did pretty good. But I want you to kind of envision yourself here working as an enslaved person, or even as an indentured servitude, working these fields, getting up in the morning. It was a little different. There wasn't any education. There wasn't any school to go to. That was just labor. You get up in the morning, you go out, you work the cows. And imagine the evenings as we prepare to go to stop 5, where the stables are, just beyond those hay bales there in that first red building in stop 5. Imagine listening to, in the main cabin, a party or a gathering of the Fitzhughs, and listening to the laughter and smelling the food as you have your own small gathering at your fire here, telling oral history and stories from your family tradition as an enslaved person, and listening to that as you walk in the darkness to go do night check at the stables. A little different environment, puts it in perspective where your place in society was in the mid-1800s, as you listen to high society in the 1800s have a social gathering. So let's walk up to stop 5 and take a look at those stables.